What do we got today on this sunny Friday? We got two items to do. 3 different styles of warm-up questions. And yeah, today's topic. Can't really leave it any longer. So I'll put it here. And if you didn't catch it in class, then yeah, watch the video. All right. Warm-up questions first then. Here's a substitution style question for you to do. Warm-up number 1. Solve this with substitution. We'll say y is equal to 7x plus 2. And so we'll then say 9x minus 2y is equal to minus 9. Yeah. So solve this question with substitution. We'll pause the video to let you test your knowledge. Check your knowledge. Zoom recording. Okay, so we started solving this question.
Yeah.
Zoom said put the 7x plus 2 in place of y, which is good. And then we multiplied it out and we got this far. Right on. What next? Anyone? Class?
I think the 9x is not gonna change again.
Yep.
And we're gonna put minus 9.
No.
uh,
Class got it. Class beat you on this one. These two to combine together. So what do they give you?
And 14, 9.
Yeah, close your eyes.
24?
No, subtracting.
Minus. What the hell? 55?
Minus 5, yeah.
Minus 5.
Because 14 is bigger, right? So keep that sign. Minus 5. 4 goes to the other side.
Yeah.
So minus 5x is equal to, what do we get on this side?
I think minus 13.
Minus 5.
Oh.
Yeah, so check that. The divide both sides by minus 5. What do we get then? X is equal to
10.
Yeah.
Minus 10.
1, because we divide by 5. Divide by minus 5. Okay, so we get x is equal to 1. Nice. What next then?
Next, there's we should find what they call it. I don't know.
Find y next. Yeah, we got x.
Yeah.
We need y for sure.
Yeah, then y.
I'm going to use this equation.
It's going to be 1. I mean, no, not 1. Why 1?
Y is y. X is 1. So that's what we're going to replace.
So y, maybe it's going to be 2?
Well, we got to figure it out. You see, use the equation for y equals x is equal to 1. So we put it in there.
Okay.
Now you work this out, and that gives you what y is. Okay, so what's
7.
what do we get here? Yeah. 7 and then a plus 2. So y will equal
9.
Yeah, good. So we have x and we got y. Final answer?
9.
1 comma 9, both of those together.
Yeah.
Okay, right on. So that's the substitution style question there, okay? Warm up number 1. Warm up number 2 is elimination type question. Now I'm going to give you a little hint so that we get the adding and subtracting correct so that there aren't any mistakes there. I thought of it this morning, thought, oh, maybe this is the trick to make it nicer for everyone, especially if you're having some struggles. So the question we're going to have is something like this. Three x plus 5 is equal to 34, and then minus 2x
2y.
plus 3y. Oh no, minus x plus y only is equal to minus 1. Okay, so we'll call this equation 1 and equation 2. And maybe I'll pause the video so you have a chance to work on this one before I help you.
So instead of y, what should we put? Which number?
Well, remember with elimination, the goal is to get the x's the same
Yeah.
or the y's the same. It doesn't matter. Although I think y's might be easier for this question. Okay, I'll give it a pause and give you a couple minutes. We'll start solving this thing. So there are different ways to do this. One way is to get the y is the same, so multiplying equation 2 by 5. But Zoom said to do it a different way, and it's a little bit harder, so I'm going to do it that way. You see the tough version, then you can try the easier one on your own. Okay, so Zoom said multiply this equation, the top one, by 2.
Yeah.
And so if you go number 1 times 2, what do you get?
6.
6x, yeah,
6x
plus
plus 10y
10y is equal to?
equals 68.
Yeah, good. 68, okay? Now, that creates a 6x here, so that's good. Now what do we multiply this one by?
3. 3
Yeah,
times minus 2 is 6 minus 6.
that's right. If we multiply by 3, we'll get 3 times 2 is a 6 now, right? But watch the
Yes.
signs. So it's minus 6
Minus
plus,
3.
yeah,
3y
3y is equal to?
Equals minus 3.
Minus 3, right on. Perfect, just on its own there. Okay, now, yesterday there was a question of whether to add or subtract, right?
Yeah.
So we got to keep that straight. So if we add these together, we get 6 plus minus 6.
F 0.
That's a 0, okay? And that's what we want to see happen. Okay, so when the signs are opposite, we're going to add together. And before I would just write a plus with a circle on it, but I'm going to write the word add just to make it a little different. Okay, so 6 plus a minus 6, that's going to give 0x. Adding these ones together, you get
13y.
yeah, 13y. And adding these ones together, you get
65.
nice 65y like that. Okay, so we have eliminated the x value. It's not there anymore. Okay, we have 13y is equal to 65.
Mm-hmm. So the
Yeah.
y is 3.
No, not 3. 3 would be 39. So what's it going to be? Yeah, from class we got 5. And that's true. Okay.
How it's 5?
Oh, just divided by 13.
Oh, yeah. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. And now it should be kind of familiar now. Once we have one variable, we got to find the other one. Okay,
We
so we
need
got
to
to,
find the x.
yeah, we need to find x now, exactly.
So
So,
we can go by 2, the equation 2.
sure, we can use
then-
equation 2 or 1. 2,
Yeah.
2 sounds good to me.
Yeah. Minus
Mhm.
2x plus 1 and a bracket 5.
Minus 2x plus, yeah, in brackets 5 to show it's being substituted in there
Yeah.
equals minus 1, right?
1. So yeah, minus
Nice.
2x
Yeah,
plus 5.
yeah,
Now,
we can get rid of the brackets because it's a plus in front. If it was a minus, then it would be subtract 5.
mhm.
Okay. Yeah, good so far. And what next?
What next?
We got to solve for x, right? So
Yeah.
what do we got to do?
Mm. Yeah, minus 2 equals minus 1 plus 5.
Right idea. We want the 5 on this side, but what's going to
Yeah,
have to happen?
minus 5.
Good. So don't forget that.
Yeah.
Minus 1 and then subtract 5 on that side, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So
Yeah.
now we got minus 2x is equal to,
Minus 6.
nice, minus 6, thinking of the t-shirt sales.
Mhm.
Yeah, good. And then final answer for x then?
Minus 2.
We're gonna divide by minus 2.
3
Yeah, exactly.
minus 3.
Positive 3, because we have negative divided by a negative.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
plus 3. So the final answer,
It's 5. No, 3 and 5.
yeah, 3 goes first for x, and then 5 second there for y. Nicely done. Okay, that was example number 2 then for these things. Okay, get to warm up number 3. That's looking like this. This is from last day now. Warm up 3. Let's say that the first term is -8, that the common difference is 7. So what is the general formula for this thing? Dun, dun, dun. What is the general formula for this?
Like like A and equals A1. Like
Yeah.
that.
Second. Not yet. No one's actually. The general formula. Yeah, I heard good things on Zoom. AN
So
is equal to
AN equals A1,
A1. Yeah,
in a bracket and minus 1, and D.
yeah, yeah, nice. With a closing bracket in there, n minus 1 times D. That looks good. Okay, so from the info we got here, what do we know?
I want to know the A1.
Yep, the first term, A1 is
It's minus 8.
minus 8 for sure. What's the symbol for the
So
common difference?
oh, what?
What's the symbol for the common difference?
It's D.
Yeah, that's right. D is the common difference there. Okay,
Mhm.
D is 7 like that. Good.
So
And yeah, go ahead.
So AN equals minus 8 plus n in a bracket n minus 1
Yep,
and 7.
nice. 7 like that. To keep it
Yeah.
all going, what do we do?
We multiply n and minus 1 by 7.
Yeah, good.
So we get AN equals minus 8 plus 7n
Yeah,
and 7.
not bad. Minus 7.
Oh yeah, minus 7.
Yeah, good. And then to finish it up, woo.
Yeah.
What's AN going to equal? Final formula.
So minus 8 and minus 7. I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure from this one.
Well, the signs are the same, so you can just add those up, right? And keep it negative. So think of the t-shirt,
Mhm.
$8 off and then
Yeah.
$7 off. So how much in total has been?
15?
Yep. So 15 off, right?
Yeah.
So 7n, and because it's taken away, it's going to be minus.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
final
minus.
answer. Okay, impressive. Okay, warm up number 3 there. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the next topic now, today's topic, day 33. And to do that, I need my glasses. Thank you there. Woo, there we go, better. Okay, so it's going to be, we're still going to be talking about arithmetic sequences. Okay, but they're just sort of fancier type questions. What they are, they're two-step questions. So what this means is that you will likely have to find some part first. Like, for example, find A1 first. And then once you have A1, then you can go to the second part and solve for, let's say, the 30th term, A30. Okay, another example of a two-step question is where instead of finding A1 first, you might have to find N first. And then once you have N, then maybe you could find what A1 is afterwards. Okay, so 2 steps. That's what's going to be happening here. Okay, so to get us started on the screen, got this question to start with, more of a warm-up again. This is like warm-up number 4. This is like what we did yesterday, but useful for us today because we can get used to our, see those symbols again and get used to what A1 is and N and all this stuff. Okay, so take a look at the screen. Let's get the formula for this thing, for this arithmetic sequence, and then do what they ask. Find the 54th term there. Okay, so I know from Zoom, you know a bit of this stuff already. I heard good things from the warm-ups. Okay, so if we have AN is equal to A1 plus N minus 1 times D, how can we update it with what we have? How can we update it from the info in the question there? Yeah. Yeah, exact. From class, they said put in the number for D and then open the brackets, right? Sounds good to me. So AN is going to stay because that's what happens with a general term. A1 is, what is that? Minus 132. Okay. We'll put the D in first, which in this question is 5. And then open the brackets, simplify at the end there, right? So minus 132 plus, open the brackets, we get 5n minus 5. And so our formula for this example is going to be minus 137 plus 5n, like that. Okay, so that's the first part, is to give the formula for it. There it is. Now what they are asking for the second part is to figure out what is the 53rd term going to equal. Oh, that's a lie. They're asking for 54. So let's do that one. What is the 54th term going to be? Okay, so notice to get this answer, what you have to recognize is that n is equal to 54 because that's the location, that's the term we're looking at. So that means in our general formula that we have, we let n equal 54 and we're good to go. Okay, so if n is equal to 54, putting it in for wherever there's an n, A54 is equal to minus 137 plus 5 times 54. Right, just replacing n. And now some heavy mathematics for a Friday afternoon. We got minus 137 plus, what is this thing going to be?
5.
Yeah, well, it's 5. It's 5 times 54.
Oh, 5 times.
Yeah, on a Friday.
Yeah.
I think I know what it is. What about you guys? What do you get? 5 times 54.
270.
Yeah, I think so too. 270 is what I got in my brain. Yeah? Okay. Perfect. So then a final little calculation to get this question completed. The 54th term is going to be how much?
I think
270.
300. Oh no, it's not 400.
No, they're opposites. So you got to subtract them
Oh.
and then keep the biggest sign. So if you subtract 270 from 137, what do you get?
133.
Yeah, you get 133 when you subtract those. And then we have to decide, do we keep it positive or is it negative? Well, positive is the bigger number, right?
Yes.
Positive is the bigger one. So we're going to keep it as plus 133 there. Finished. Okay. All right. So that's a little sample of what we're doing. But now, this next one here, I think this is the real deal. And what is this? This is just a reminder about what A1 and N and all that are. So you can read that over. Nothing fancy there. Had that earlier. It's actually from a couple days ago as well. That was also a couple days ago, just as a reminder. Yeah, we can try this one quick. This is just asking for the formula. So let's go for speed on this one. Okay. On your marks, formula only, no other term or anything. On your marks, get set, go. You can try and beat me. Example 2. It's given that A1 is equal to minus 7. D is still equal to 5. So using the same starting formula, AN is equal to A1 plus N minus 1 times D. We get minus 7 plus N minus 1 times 5. Opening the brackets, multiplying, gives 5N minus 5, which gives a final good looking answer of 5N, then $7 off, $5 off, $12 off. Final answer. Okay, now notice all of these are still one-step type questions. Haven't come to a two-step, which is the original or the topic of the day. All of these have been kind of warm-up questions for you. Okay, so let's see about the next one. Sure enough there. Okay, this is the one. This one gets a star beside it. And not only that, up at the top is an example, not A1. Okay, we don't have A1 anymore. Okay, so we have A7 instead. A7 is 33. And D is equal to, because they say D is equal to 7. So this is where the two steps come in. Two steps. The first situation is that you find A1 first. Because I think we'll see that's going to be missing. And then once you find A1, what we do is we leave N and to get AN is equal to blah, blah, blah. AN is equal to the general formula or the general term or explicit formula. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Well, for this section, it's arithmetic. So we got this situation here. We know that D is equal to 7, so we can put that in that place there. Notice this, A7 is 33. Okay, there's some special value in there that's important for us to notice. Okay, and so notice, since we're talking about A7, this means that N is equal to 7. This N right, or this 7 right there. Not that one. That's D, of course. That 7 there means N is equal to 7. Okay, so with these facts here, we can update our arithmetic formula and get through to the answer. Okay, so we're going to put N equals 7 in wherever possible. 7 in for D as well, and let's see what we get. We get A7 is equal to A1 plus 7 minus 1 for the N times 7 there at the end from the D. So notice right now we got two unknowns, A1 and A7. And we got to find what A1 is.
I think A1 is like A7, but like minus 42.
That's just it. You can start thinking about it that way. Start subtracting and stuff. But look at this given right in the question. A7 is 33, right? So we can make that substitution right there at the start. A7 is 33 right there. A1 is missing. And yeah, we can start working on this now. 7 minus 1 is 6 times 7. So we got 33. It's equal to A1 plus, yes, I heard 42. That's true. And so we get an actual number now. Okay, A1 is equal to, as the clever student would say, 33 minus 42. And then given a final answer that A1, or not a final answer, but a value for A1, what is that going to equal? Is it how much? 33 minus 42. Fingers and toes. Minus 9? Yeah. Okay, so A1's minus 9. And we can use that in part 2 now, okay? So we go back. We go, okay, we got all these values in the beginning. We had A7 is 33, that's true, we used that. We had D is equal to 7. A1 is equal to minus 9. This is all we need to get the general formula now. A1 plus n minus 1 times d. Oh, yeah, I guess I could write it all again. N minus 1 times 7. But A1 is equal to minus 9. So you're just substituting in there. We figured out A1 is equal to minus 9. We were given D is equal to 7. Those are both in there now. A1 is minus 9. D is 7. Now we just simplify it. Oh. A1 is minus 9. D is 7. So we just simplify it. Open the brackets with multiplying. That gives 7n minus 7. And keeping track of t-shirt sales, this will be 7n. And how about the number there at the end? Minus 9 subtract 7. What's that going to be? Top secret?
2.
No, because it's $9 off and then another $7 off.
Oh, okay, yeah. So 16.
Yeah, exactly. So $16 off. Okay, so that's the general formula then now for this first example here, okay? So just to show you what we did. Notice we weren't given A1 in this question, we're given A7 instead. Okay, so we set up our starting formula as usual, substitute what we got, but just be ready to solve for A1 first. All right. So we substitute in what we got. We get the value for A1, and then we kind of start the question again. We go, okay, we got A1 now. We got D. Now we can get the general formula. So that's what the second page is. We got the A1. We got the D. Starting formula again. And just start substituting things in. Doing some algebra. That's what we get for our final answer there. Okay. Let's take a look at the next example. Still a two-step question. But in this case, we have A1. So in this case, we're going to be doing two steps with something else. You too. One of my old students wishing me a happy weekend. He's so good, he's going to be a legend. Legend. Okay, back to the screen. You see, we got A1 there. That's okay. We can use that, but we don't have D. So for our two-step type situation, the first one is we're going to have to find what D is equal to. And then we do the same as before. get an is equal to once we substitute everything in. Okay, so let's do the first part first. We got A1 is minus 20. A12 is, what is that, 13? Now, what does this 12 represent down here? So related to this 13, n is equal to 12, okay? So when n is equal to 12, we're looking at the 12th term, and that has a value of 13. Okay, so let's find d first with our starting formula here. See what we got. N minus 1 times d. We got a1. That's a minus 20. We got n is 12. So we can put a 12 in there. We don't have d. That's what we're looking for. And because n is 12, we can say not an anymore, but a12 like that. Okay, so we can take this a little bit further, because we're given the question that the 12th term a12 is equal to how much? Well, it's equal to 13. So we can replace a12 now with 13 like that. We got minus 20. 12 minus 1 is 11. Can drop the brackets because it's positive. So we have 11 times d now. And so as you can see, there's only one thing missing, the d value, which is what we're going for. First step. Okay, so we'll move the 20 over. That'll give a plus 20 now. Plus 13 is 11d. 20 plus 13 gives 33. And so look at that, a nice number. D is equal to how much? D is equal to 3. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so that was step number 1. Going now to step number 2. We got to get the general term now. So we start with this again. That is our basic formula. We're going to leave an in there and leave n in there as well. But we're going to put values in that we know for a1, which is minus 20. And we're going to put a value in for d, which we just figured out to be is equal to 3. Okay, and so an stays like that. So an is equal to minus 20. Multiply this through, open it up. 3n minus 3. And we'll get a final general formula for this example using our t-shirts. $20 off, then another 3. So that will be $23 off in total there. Final answer. Okay, so for the first example, there was no A1, so we had to find it. In this example, there was no D given, so we had to find it. And those missing things made these questions two-step type questions. Okay. Maybe just as a reminder, this is the overview of the question we just did. All right. Yeah, still on the screen there. D is missing. We don't have it on our list. It's not given. So that says to me, we got to find it first. We're given A1 and A12, so we know N is equal to 12. So we go through the first step of finding what the D is. A1 is minus 20, which we saw. N is 12. And then we know further the 12th term is 13, so we update that part as well. And that leaves only D. All right, only D, which is good. One letter to solve for. We do that, and we get the D is equal to 3. And we just start the question again with the same starting formula, but with our extra values now, right? We had A1 is equal to minus 20 because it was given. And we figured out that D is equal to 3 from our first part. A1's in there, D is in there. The algebra gives that as a final formula there. Okay, so one more like this. This one, I think we're going to have to do some substitution with this, if I remember correctly. So for this example here, for A10, yeah, we're going to have some substitution. You watch. A10 is equal to 20. We can use our starting formula with this one. And then we also have A22 is equal to minus 28. So we'll use our formula with that one as well. And then you'll see what happens. We're going to get like a system we had with A's and D's instead of X's and Y's. Okay, so let's check this out. So we're going to use this first equation. Okay, so AN is equal to A1 plus N minus 1 times D. And so notice here, N is equal to 10 for this particular, in this location here. So we have A10 is equal to A1, which you don't know, 10 minus 1, and then D, which we don't know. A10 is given as 20, so we can update it by that, by substituting the 20 in. Then we get A1 plus 9 times D like that. And we're just going to leave this here for now. And so notice there's two things missing, just like an X and a Y. A1 is missing and a D is missing. Okay, but what we'll do is the same steps with the second equation. Okay, for the second equation, because the 22 is there, N will be 22. So we substitute those in there. N is 22. A1 stays. And D is still missing. We don't know what it is. We're given that A22, the 22nd term is minus 28. So we can put that in there. Minus 28 is A1 plus, this will turn into 21 times D now. And you see, we got two equations now with two unknowns. And so we can do substitution or elimination in order to solve this type of question. Okay. So I'm going to set it up as a system first of all. And that means having them one on top of another. Yeah, I said substitution, but I'm going to do elimination for this one, just because I see the A1 is appearing in both. So we got 20 is equal to A1 plus 9D. And then we got minus 28 is equal to A1 plus 21D. And so notice, for A1, the number in front is the same. There's an invisible 1 that's there, right? Okay. Now, they're both the same sign. They're both positive. So that means to eliminate these, we're going to subtract from one another. Okay, we're going to minus the second one from the first one. Okay, so what do we get? Well, we go 20 minus 28. Here we get 20 minus 28. So what does this give? Well, I'm going to write it here. It might be easier to see. This was a trick I was thinking of. If you're having some struggles with this elimination, write it out sideways like this. 20 minus 128. Okay. This equals A1 minus A1. So that should be 0. And then we have 9D minus 21D. So good people, what is this going to equal? Well, subtracting a negative means it's going to be positive now, right? So this will be 20 plus 28, so that'll be 48. Here we got some subtraction going on. So you take the bigger minus the smaller and keep the sign. So 21 minus the 9 there, that will be 12D. And because the minus is bigger, it'll be a negative value there. And to finish this up, dividing by minus 12, we then get an answer that D is going to equal minus 4 when we work that out. Okay, so we had these two equations resulting from our the first part. Decided to do elimination. A1 has a +1 and a +1, so that means we're going to subtract, we're going to minus. And so we show that 20 minus 28 equals A1 minus A1, gone. 9D minus 21D. We work it out, get D is equal to minus 4. Okay, so we can keep this one. This is a useful value. What we have to do next is find what A1 is going to equal. and then get back to our, get to the final formula. Okay, so if we go back to our earlier, oh, it's still on the screen here. These were the two equations that we had. That's the first one, that's the second one. We know d is equal to -4. So we're going to solve for a1, right? So I'm going to use the first one just because it seems a bit easier for me. Less minuses and stuff. Okay, so since we had 20 is equal to a1 plus 9d, since we solved that d is equal to -4, now we can figure out what a1 is now. We replace d with -4, and you work it out there. a1 minus 36. That goes over to the other side. That is, the 36 goes over, becomes positive. And so a1 is going to equal 56 when we work this out. Okay, this is one of our starting equations. And then, wow. And then the last part. We have A, we got A1, we have D. We put them together and simplify. We got N will stay. A1 is 56 from our good work there earlier. We have N will stay, and D is -4 from our work earlier there as well. Okay, so AN will equal 56 minus 4N plus 4. Final answer, after quite a bit of work, eh? AN is 60 minus 4N for this one. So probably the hardest one of the bunch, eh? Okay, so let's take a quick look back and see just where the heck all this purple writing came from. Okay. Okay, so in the beginning, straight up from the question, they just give that, they give the 10th term, that's still on the screen, I believe. Yeah, 10th term is 20, 22nd term is 28, right? So each of these facts, each of these equations get their own part of the page. See, use the starting formula with this first fact here, and then we do it again with that fact there. Substitute in what we know, take it as far as we can, and we get this equation here, which is like one of our equations. See how this is kind of like, I didn't write it at the time, but this is kind of like x plus 9y. And then this is kind of like minus 28 is equal to x plus 21y. See, just different letters. Okay, so we have this equation in red, that one there. And these now we put together in order to solve for not x and y, but a1 and d. So we do that with elimination. Those are the two equations. That's a 9. Then you have to decide if we're going to add or subtract, because these are the same. Signs are the same. We subtract, we minus. The A1s are gone. And we get, we have D only left with a bunch of numbers there. So we can solve for D, which we do on the first page here. So this is kind of like solving for X. We still need Y, right? We got D, we still need A1. So we go back to one of these equations. I went back to this one. Substituted in the -4 there. And it worked out what A1 is. Okay. So there it is. That's the -4 now showing up that we just found. Solving for A1. We do that and we get it. What does that allow us to do? It allows us to get the general formula now. We got A1, which is 56, which we just got. D is -4, which we got. Some algebra. And we get this now as our final formula there. Okay, so I'll leave that question for there. I think that might be all. Yeah, sure enough. Okay. Then, with those 1, 2, 3 examples done for you, I got a worksheet in class that I can give out. It's on Teams already. What you gotta pay attention to is that on Teams, it's all day 32 and day 33 are all in the same same PDF. Okay, so day 32 is like the page 1. And if you scroll down a little further to page 2, that's where you'll see the day 33 showing up. Okay, and as usual, just work on the odd numbers. And I think on Teams, the answers are already there for you. So you can do your work first and then check your work against the answers, right? Right. Okay, good people. I'm going to pause the video. Do that there.